Hello, everybody. This is Faheem Jackson, and it's episode 63 of my podcast show, In the Know. This is a short form podcast show which is aimed at putting people in the know with a variety of topics, using my experiences and viewpoints in life to put people in that know. Now, what is the know? It's using my viewpoints and experiences to guide you through the world. The following is an intro speech into the topic of today. And that introduction speech is regarding students finding their skills through their own methods of learning. Have you ever wondered what school would be like if the students themselves were able to find out what they liked on their own? And then from there, they were able to work to be good at that thing. How would they learn to be good? Well, they would create their own method for learning, which would aid in their current and future success. But how would this look in our schools across the country? Because our school systems are not going to allow them something like this to be implemented, no matter if it has the ability to work or not. Yet, I did say school systems. I'm also referring to the collegiate levels as well. This is a place where you can learn what you choose, yet you still have to operate in bound. But life does not have the bounds the school does to succeed. Still, what if they did? What would this look like? Why, students should be allowed to learn what they like to find their skills. Nurtured talents. As a student, wouldn't you have loved to have been able to figure out what you like in school and then take that thing you like and push all the way until adulthood? What age would you start this push to success? Don't get me wrong, you have to teach other core classes, but there should be this initiative to allow the student to nurture their talents. Let's say, for instance, the kid really likes science at a very young age. We create a center within the schools that will allow the kid to work on a continuous basis to get better in the field of whatever space of science. You could hire an additional educator to work close with the students, separate from the other teachers, almost like an apprenticeship in the schools. Less time wasted. When the student is given time to figure out their lives on their own terms, then they're not waiting for them to do this as an adult. Meaning, most people step into society and spend from preschool through college performing coursework that they never will use again, and then move into the world and have to start all over again. Now, starting in middle school, you have the opportunity to figure things out quicker, and maybe even be able to get through college quicker. Hey, you might not even need college if you start this sooner. Invest less financially. When schools are putting money into programs that will allow the kids, allowing the students to learn what they like to aid in their future, might actually cost less. We put so much in after-school programs, but what about a further learning program that will aid in success? You may be able to remove certain classes that won't aid in furthering their success to make room for self-improvement. And the school system is always open to trying to figure out ways to spend less money on the schools. This would mean alleviating the pressure off the backs of the taxpayers. A sense of focus. As a student who tries to figure out their future early, it creates a sense of urgency. So the students are forced to sit down and observe something that will require them to spend a substantial amount of time working on one thing long term. Putting young people in a position to do this at a very young age would mean they are accustomed to working on something without being distracted. I myself have a hard time focusing if I am not in the right mind frame and also a certain location. So once I do find a space, I can work for a longer period of time. Delegating responsibility. As it pertains to trying to figure out what you will do next on the things you like, There must be a process, and the process that you put together will show the educators that may be guiding you that you're setting yourself on course to a successful future. You may even intend on working in groups of like minded students. This way, you can work on delegating among people. This will really help you assemble a team, which will be what you have to do anyways in the future. Making choices and having trade offs. Whenever you choose to pursue anything in life, you have to learn that there is always going to be an upside and a downside to everything. So teach young people early on about the decisions they will have to make regarding making decisions and then being able to live with it. I myself know that what it's like to have been having to make decisions and having to deal with the trade-offs in the end. Now, as of now, I don't have any regrets. Yet I will say this, I feel like I'm making headway in life, and it's the confidence and comfort with the decision making that we need to push to a younger demographic. These are things in that government should be placing within the school systems. Dealing with failures. The most successful people will tell you that they had massive failures in life. Most people enjoy playing life safe simply because they don't want to deal with the massive failure. They don't want to go to work and get their check and live. But we should be encouraging other children to take on the fears. We should be pushing them to try things even if they lose. Every kid in school should be made to create a business idea, try their best to carry it through a level like high school, and then it will be on them if they want to carry it on past high school. But if it fails, you can at least say you made an attempt to try a business. Embracing that failure will give you the ability to go out into the world and try more things. Willingness to succeed. Ever since I came to New York City, I myself try to keep pushing forward no matter what, and what is needed in order to have long-term success. Don't get me wrong, I've been spending a lot of time living in fear, especially with the way this pandemic is working itself out. You never know if your time will come for something bad to happen. I'm nowhere near immune from my ability to not have a place to stay, but I have been trying to muster up the confidence and strength to move on. This is the same fight we have to allow students to have in the area of interest when it comes to them choosing what they want to pursue in school. You will be surprised by what a student in school would be fearless about pursuing once you allow the opportunity to go for it. Their fight could potentially translate into something beyond the walls of school. But since we are so focused on overall GPA, we automatically write the student off for a bad grade, when we should be really trying to figure out what gets them going in the classroom. Figuring it out at an early age. Wouldn't you like it as a part of a parent if your child could figure out what they wanted to pursue at a much early age? Because this would save both the parent and the child a lot of time. But it would also give the kid a new level of responsibility that in turn will allow the parents to not have a high level of oversight over their child. This means the parents being able to focus on their own work while periodically checking in on their child. I wish I would have known what my path would be like to a certain extent by the time I left high school. Now, notice I said to an extent. You will still feel like changing paths from middle school to high school through adulthood, but giving them the option to learn on their own terms is an early jump. Parental adjusting. How does affect the parental oversight? I covered this briefly in the last passage, where I discussed the idea that parents' goal could be with this idea of children finding what they like and building off of that, because it gives parents more time for themselves. The quicker your child works to figure out their lives, the better. They'll be increasingly more mature, but with this, there may actually be even more oversight from parents sometimes, because the smarter your child, the more interest in their subject. This could mean them a step ahead of even you as a child, and no parent wants the child to have the upper hand. With this end statement, why we should let students gravitate to their likes to figure out their skills. Allowing the students to step up to a plate and find their own way in life gives them a whole new sense of responsibility and accomplishments. But the reason for this not having or happening is the fear of the students not getting enough core learning as well as the fear of failure. We don't think they can deal with it, with the major downsides of the failure. Then again, why don't we allow them to fail big? A lot of it has to do with the parents' insecurities. They have their own fears and project it onto the child. As for me, I always wanted to do things that were a little more risky in life. I didn't quite understand what it would be like. But something risky, I wish that risky persona would have been taken advantage of at a young age. Could I be further along than I am now? We'll never know. So, thanks for listening to In the Know, and can't wait to bring the next episode where we talk about segregated learning based on gender, meaning all boys schools and all girls schools.